Welcome to the Tippie podcast. We got a special guest this afternoon. Who my guest is, my dog?
Triple J, aka Bumpy Johnson, aka Fresh Dope. Let me say that different. I'm going by the name Fresh Dope after this.
Okay then, Triple J.
People know me as Triple J.
Oh, you about to switch it up on us?
I mean, I ain't doing no more Triple J projects. This the last one. That's why I called it my obituary. I'm done with that.
Oh man, Triple, we had to bring you on down.
For sure.
You feel me? Because they been asking about you. You feel me? So we gonna have to take it on bite. Do you mind we take it on bite?
Go ahead, man. I'm here with you.
And I know you got some new stuff too. You done brought for us too.
Well, I ain't bring it, but you know everything digital now.
Okay then.
I got access to it.
Okay then. So we're gonna be accessing that, but we want to take it on bite real quick.
For sure.
They wanted to know my dog, because the Tippie told they nosy. Where is Triple J from?
Riviera Beach, Florida. That's a small city within Palm Beach County, just about a few minutes north of here, and we the only black city on the whole eastern seaboard from Miami to Maine.
And they want to know Triple J.
And when I say black city, I mean black mayor, black chief of police, black fire chief. We totally a black city, majority black residents. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So growing up in the all black, was that kind of better growing up in the all black community?
I say for me it was because I got to see black prominence in a way that a lot of inner city people probably didn't get to see it, cause we were basically like a baby at Camp Creek up in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like everybody was homeowners. I saw black prominence, powerful black people growing up. So it wasn't so far fetched to see that your dreams could be attainable, cause all my neighbors, my parents was homeowners. Everybody on our street, they owned their house. You know what I mean? I mean, you had a few people that was renting or whatever, but we saw that growing up. You know what I mean? But it was still hood at the same time. Because right around, the next street from where I grew up at was the Stony Brook Projects. So that was there too. That element was there, and my house was right off S Avenue, between S Avenue and U Avenue, and I'm sure you probably heard about S Avenue. So that's the type of environment I grew up in. But at the same time, you had that other side too. You had positivity. You had black home ownership. You had black entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Black leaders, right in our community. So, yeah, it was pretty diverse. Part of town to grow up in. I'm thankful for it.
Okay, then. And Triple J, they wanted to know, did you play any sport growing up?
Nah, not at all. Nope. No, I wasn't athletic. I was more artistic. I did a lot of drawing, a lot of writing. I wrote my first rap when I was in the 4th grade. Listening to Run DMC.
4th grade?
4th grade, man. Yeah.
That could bring me to my third question. So who did you listen to growing up before music, since we know you started listening, doing music since the 4th grade?
Man, I come from that era, man. Like when hip hop started, I remember the birth of hip hop. So I was listening to like Melly Mel, you know what I mean? Beat Street, there's a movie called Beat Street. Had Melly Mel and that group he was in, the Furious Five. I was into that whole movement, man. So
But what was it about you that early like that you could write a rap after? You say 4th grade?
Well, my brother, I got an older brother. And he thought he was a lover boy or something. So he used to write raps to his girlfriend and stuff. And he'd come home from school and be in the mirror spitting his little, thought it was LL or something. You know what I mean? Then one day he bought this tape home, his Run DMC. 30 Days was the name of the song. He just played that tape. I'm talking about to the point where I learned the words by heart within a matter of days. So I started just writing my own little rap to that same beat. Okay. And I took it to school. I said it for a couple of my friends, I had the girls and that's really what it was. When I got them little girls nodding their heads, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I can't play no sports, but.
And using the 4th grade.
4th grade. But this is what I do right here. This is my sport right here. You feel me?
Did you feel like you was getting a couple little fan base in your school? People was digging that?
Yeah, I became, every school I went to, I was known as the rapper at the school. I had, a couple other cats that was competitive with it. By the time I got in what we used to call it junior high back then, when you had middle school, we had junior highs. That's how old I am. But at junior high, a couple cats in the school that was coming for the throne, and I had to let one of them, take the throne for a little minute one time, because kid named Demond Foster, man, call him Papoose, man. I ain't gonna lie, dog. Dude was vicious. I don't know where he at right now, but
he was spitting like that.
Man, that nigga chopped my throat, man. But after that, you know what I mean? Because that's when I realized I wasn't really a battle rapper, you know what I mean? I started just, writing stories and writing about life, and, it wasn't so much mic check 1 2 1 2. You know, that wasn't really my thing. You know what I mean? So I started rapping about life and reality, and once I did that, man, I felt like I was invincible at that point.
So now break it down to us. When did the studio become involved? Now, you know, you spitting, you starting to tell stories now. When did, you know, it started getting to, let me try to take it serious?
My first time going to the studio, to a real studio, you know, we used to record in people's house and stuff like that, but my first time going to the studio, my big homie, R.I.P. Big Dave, man, David Wilson, he just passed away last month. We just buried him, matter of fact, or maybe a month before last. He, you know, he died from COVID, man.
Damn.
But yeah, I was 18 years old, man, cause we used to, you know, we was on the block. He was a little old, you know, his crew was a little older than my crew. We were like the, you know, the Jits on the block on J Avenue. They were the older niggas. You know, he had his little crew, about 4 of them that were rapping. And I used to be attracted, you know, I'm attracted to that, you know, the whole lifestyle. Cause, you know, I always wanted to be a rapper. Even when I was in the streets, my dream was still to be a rapper. So I gravitated toward him, you know what I mean? He kind of took me in and, let me hear what you got, Jit, you know what I mean? And I was spitting for him, like, yo, I'm gonna take you to the studio. So my first time going to a real studio with the big homie, man, R.I.P. Love.
So you was in there, so y'all dropping y'all thing. Like, when did the hoods, you know, from your area start saying down? Because, you know, it's hard, you know, for your hood to gravitate to your music.
What happened was, see, in the hood, this is the crazy thing. And I think kind of what helped my popularity, so to speak, in my hood was because I wasn't really known as a rapper in the hood. Mm-hmm. I was in the streets, so people knew me, but as a street nigga, you know, just a little hard-headed little street nigga, you know, selling dope and doing what, you know what I mean, robbing a little crazy ass shit like that. You know, I had my little crew. Mm-hmm. But
you say you had a crew too?
I had a little crew.
Back
you know,
then, even it's throwback. Can we?
Not no rap crew. I'm talking about.
Like, can it be talked about what the name of the crew, or you want to keep that though?
I mean, we was J Avenue. It was no, it wasn't really no. We didn't call ourselves a gang, but the crew I ran with was my age group of people from that sold dope on J Avenue, basically. That's all we did. We just sold dope and did everything else that came with it. And
growing up, like, do you feel like was it like growing up? That's like we seen the older kids do, like sell dope. Where we sell dope, and did we ever think about getting 9 to 5?
Oh yeah, I had jobs. I always had jobs. Even when I was selling dope, I might have a job. But you know, selling dope was just another stream of income. Okay, it was an easier stream of income. You know what I mean? And it was fast money that I was attracted to. A lot of kids were attracted to coming up from where I came up at, because it was just there.
Like remember growing up, was you nervous your first time ever on there trying to get that bag out there? Not really nervous, because it was so many people was doing it. It just felt like it was normal. It was normal. It was like the thing to do. Just don't let your daddy and your mom. In my case, it was my daddy. Don't let my daddy catch me. Okay, you know what I mean? Like my daddy was like that daddy on BMF. You know what I mean? He wasn't with it. You know what I mean? So I had to just keep it hid from him. I was more scared of him than the police. But my first time, you know, I had a homeboy named Stan. We was in the 7th grade, and he was the first one that showed me, like, you know, look, man, I buy these for 20. I buy these for 5, 10. I sell them for 20, 40. You know what I mean? He showed me the double up game, and he kept money on him. You feel me? I'm like, damn, okay, he can do it. I can do it. He just a couple years older than me, and so, you know, it was like I said, we never really no fear. I was just scared of my daddy catching me. Okay, then. So now you grinding. So you doing music. Did they ever get in the music way? Where you like, man, F this music, man, I'm getting money out here. In the beginning, I never really let the streets. I would like to think I never let the streets get in the way of it, because whenever it was time to make a move toward that music, I always saw the music as being more of a career choice for me. Like I said, the streets was just easy money. It was just a means of getting by. I never saw myself as being a career drug dealer or a career criminal or nothing. Like, I ain't never want to be Tony Montana. You feel what I'm saying? Like I say, it was just a means of making quick money, and at times the money got real good, and I had to pull myself back and realize, like, oh, you know, just stay focused, man. You'll get caught up in this shit, because the money was easy, man, especially back then. And like I say, you know, just being out there, and during that time, when I guess it was like maybe probably about 19, 20, when my homeboy, I got a homeboy named Trevon, we did a tape. It was a song we did. I forget the name of it, but he took it down to it was in
conference, a music conference they used to have down in Miami called How Can I Be Down, or maybe Jack the Rapper, one of them. I know Atlanta had one and Miami had one. So one was called Jack the Rapper and one was called How Can I Be Down. I can't remember which was which. But he took the tape down there, and some dudes heard the tape.
Talking about y'all tape.
He took our tape. Well, it was his song. I was just on there. I was featured on there.
And who produced that track right there, y'all?
I think he did. I think he made, or his brother, him and his brother, because they used to. His brother used to produce too. R.I.P. to him. He gone too. His little brother. But anyway, he called me back after he went down there. He was like, man, I let some niggas from Cali hear our tape, bro, and they rocking with us. Trying not to curse, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, you already know.
He said they rocking with us. I said, okay, what they talking about? He said, man, they want to fly us out to Cali. I said, well, who is these cats? And he said, this is the nigga Tone Capone who produced the song I Got 5 on it for the Loonies.
Oh, man.
So I'm saying that to say that's where my career started at. Like, at home, I wasn't even really known as a rapper except for my, immediate peers or the other rappers who I used to battle against. Like me and Trevon, we used to battle rap against each other and always. So, I was a dope MC, so that's how he reached out to me. But I wasn't known for that in the streets. I wasn't known as a rapper.
Yeah.
So I went to Cali.
And moving to Cali or just taking the trip?
Well, the first time was just a trip. You know what I mean? And one thing led to another, and then we eventually moved out. Well, me, him, and another one of my homeboys, Tippie, who was in the rap group with us. We all eventually moved out there, probably like a month.
What was the name of the rap group, you don't mind me asking?
Well, the original name of me and Teddy P rap group was Mad Dog Posse. It was me, him, 2 more of my homeboys, T Black, Tavis. But when we went to Cali, since we brought Trevon in the group, I can't even remember the name of what the group was.
And it ended up being 4 people now?
No. It was just my other two homeboys. They weren't, they ain't take the rap shit serious like that. So they weren't even in the music no more. But Taylor was still making beats. But me and Teddy was more into the, like I say, Teddy was heavy in the streets at the time. I was more so trying to direct him like, look, bro, we ain't got to keep doing this forever, man. We could do this. Dog. We could really make some money doing this. And he was more like, okay, dog, well, shit, you go get that started, my nigga. When it get rolling, I'll come with you. You feel me? So that's kind of what I did. I went out there first and I kind of laid the foundation, got it started. Then we flew him out there because he one of the dopest MCs to me that I ever worked with, that I ever heard. You feel me? So we got him out there and we started making music. And I came back home. Like we stayed out there for like a year. And I came back home. I had all this music that these niggas in Cali made. And I started off, actually they put out a CD when it was in the record stores. So, my first rip, I could actually come home and tell people, hey man, I got a record in that store. Go buy my record. You feel what I'm saying? So I had my homeboy, they going in the store. It was a store called Peaches on Okeechobee Boulevard.
So you going to Cali dropping tracks, now you in Palm Beach.
Now I come back home.
Is records getting sold?
Is records getting sold in the store. With me on there. I got it's a compilation album. I got like 9 songs on the compilation album.
People believe in you or some people they ain't even believe you. Your picture on there?
Yeah, they had my picture on there because they had all the artists' pictures on the back of it. They had their own, they upcoming albums. So my picture was on there. So, and plus people knew, Triple J was my nickname. So it wasn't just a rap name. So when they said Triple J, they knew it was me. Plus they could hear the voice. So that wasn't really no question. But that's kind of where the whole rap thing started at. So that made it a little bit easier for the popularity to grow because I was already known. You know what I mean? So I wasn't just known as a nigga that's trying to rap. It was easy to put it, oh, that's the little nigga be over there on Jay. You know what I mean? So it just made things a lot easier, man. So after a while I started putting out my own music, man, just making my own CDs, man. The thing was selling like dope, bro.
So you selling your own CD?
Right out of my mama's house, dog, like dope.
What made you go that route? Like I'm finna sell my independent, I'm finna sell my own music.
Cause after a few
and what's the name of that CD you was selling? You was talking about that one right there.
Okay, the first CD, and that's a long story too. The first CD was called Rawville Volume 1. How that whole thing came about, I mean, I don't know how much time we got.
What you mean? We vibe. We got
okay. All right. Well, the way that whole thing came about was
we done canceled everything we had going on.
All right, how the whole thing came about, man. When I was in Cali during that duration of working with Tone Capone, he was closely affiliated with Scarface. He was working on the album with Scarface, the Untouchable album. He the one did the Smile track with Tupac on it. He did Mary, Mary, Mary. He did pretty much all the hot tracks on the album. Tone did. I think he did like 9 tracks on there. But while he was working on Face album, at the same time, we was doing our compilation through the label that he was ahead of. You know, basically it was his label, him and this cat named Spence, a label called Dollars and Spence. So somehow throughout that, you know, that experience right there, I wasn't there, but Face heard me. I guess he was mixing what I know now, I guess I could say it. He was using the studio time. He was using the studio time that he was working on Face's album. He was using some of that time to mix our album. You know what I mean? You know how that shit go. So I guess Face was coming in on a few of the sessions, and some way he heard me. You know what I mean? And so for about a year or two, Face knew who I was, and I didn't even know that he knew who I was. Cause them niggas wasn't gonna tell me. You know what I mean?
Damn, why you say that?
Cause they was trying to build, you know what I mean? But Face was trying to get me, you feel me? They know, I guess they figured if I'd have known that, I probably would have, you know how that shit go. Young dude ready to get his career started. So, you know, lo and behold, I guess the time came when the label wasn't really doing nothing. So Tone called me and he was like, "Listen, man, we ain't gonna keep holding you up, man. That nigga Face been trying to get with you for a couple years, man. You need to holler at him."
Oh my God, a couple years.
I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man, Face been trying to holler at you for a couple years, man. But it's, you know, all out of respect. He ain't never cross the line and try to, you know, go bike doors and, you know what I mean?" He was like, "We gonna go ahead and let you fly, my nigga." So I'm like, it wasn't even a matter of letting me fly, cause my contract was already up. I was just fucking with them out of loyalty, you know what I mean? I ain't really had nothing else going on, so that was the fam. So he was like, "Man, go ahead and, you know, hit that nigga up, man." So no matter of fact, he said, "I'm gonna tell him to call you." I said, "All right, yeah, tell him to hit me up." And as soon as I hung up with Tone, Face called me like immediately. I still had a phone in my hand when he called me. And that was pretty much the beginning of me and Face relationship. So he took me to New York, you know, this when he was getting ready to start Def Jam, when they were getting ready, Russell Simmons was getting ready to start Def Jam South. So Face wanted me to be one of his first artists on the label. So he took me to New York, and I have met Leo Korn and Kevin Liles, and, you know, first time I meet Leo, I walk in the office. Well, a couple of us walking there, it was kind of like, it was set up kind of like an audition thing. Only we wasn't auditioning, but that's how, you know, they had a panel like how you see American Idol. You know what I mean? But it wasn't all rigged up like that. Niggas just sitting, you know, it was like a little platform, stage platform they sitting on, and we walk in. So it was Kevin, it was Leo, Todd Moskowitz, you know, a couple executives from Def Jam, A&Rs and shit. So first thing Leo say, like, "Which one of you cats is Triple J?"
Oh.
So I stepped on like, "Yeah, that's me," you know what I mean? All cocky, you know what I mean? I said, "Yeah, that's me, what's up?" He said, yeah, I heard your shit. I heard your music. You can rap. But fuck that. Can you sell a fucking record?
Oh.
You know? I'm like, damn, you know, I ain't never heard no white boy talk to me like this. So I'm like, what? What you mean? He said, "Can you sell a fucking record?" We got a lot of rappers, man. We got Jay-Z, we got Slick Rick, we got DMX, we got Ja Rule. No, you name it.
That what he saying?
Yeah, he talking to me like this. So I'm like, and at this time, I hadn't sold a record. You know, I just know how to rap. I ain't sold no records. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So Face kind of intervened. I guess Face seen, you know, well, he's probably seen the look on my face. So Face like, hold on, man. I got a vouch for Trip, man. Out of everybody up here on that I brought, this nigga here the one. This nigga here the one. You gotta respect that, Leo. This nigga here the one. So Leo like, all right, yes, you know, Face speaks real highly of you. He vouched for you. So this we'll do, man. We're gonna give you a demo deal. At that time, I didn't know what a demo deal was. So they gave me like $10,000 and told me to go to a reputable studio to record this record. And they paid for everything. They paid for the studio time and the engineering and the production and all that. But it just had to be. I couldn't go to my homeboy. "Oh yeah, let's go record this record."
No, you can't go though. You gotta be a professional studio.
Yeah, it had to be a professional studio. That was that was part of the
like
agreement.
one of their studios.
No, it was just a studio that they like. For example, a Circle House. You know what I mean? And I think Circle House was a studio where I wound up doing most of the project at that time. I can't really remember, but Circle House or Hit Factory or something to that magnitude. You know what I mean? So we you know, I got a little check, went recorded. Matter of fact, no, it was in Houston. This was before I went to Circle House. We did this, and we did the demo tape in Houston. So I recorded like 10 songs, and I did the 10 songs. And we sent it to New York, and they bucked on it.
What you mean they bucked on it?
They ain't move on it. They ain't like it. They ain't want it.
No.
They ain't want it. So I'm like, damn.
Okay.
Okay.
Ain't like none of the songs.
So that's what Face meant. I don't know if Scarface did a Drink Champs a while back, a couple months ago, about a month ago. Did you see his Drink Champs?
No, but let us know.
Well, he did a Drink Champs.
I'm about to go check it around. We get off this though.
He did a Drink Champs. He gave me a shout out on there. He basically was telling people how he couldn't get me signed when he tried to take me to New York, and that's what he meant. Eventually, I did get signed, but the first time he took me up there, that's the whole thing.
About,
yeah, that's what he was talking about. He couldn't, they ain't want to, they did the demo deal with me, but they passed on it. So I'm like, okay, so that same music that I sent up there for New York, I'm okay. New York niggas might not be feeling it, but my hood gonna love this shit. So I took that same tape that we sent to New York, I added a couple more songs to it, and I put it out on the street. And that's where Triple J started at.
So what did you put on? Let us know what you was pushing when you. What was the name?
I just made CDs, pressed them up, started bamming them out my trunk, out my house, and that shit caught like fire, dog.
What about the videos? What about?
Wasn't no videos back then. We weren't worrying about what a nigga looked like. We just wanted to put that shit in our car and ride. And that's what I was doing. I was making slide music, you know what I mean? Something to slide to.
And what was the one of the main ones that took off when you came back?
The whole album.
The whole album.
The whole album. They called it a mixtape, but that was the album because it was all original songs. That wasn't no mixtape. That was the album. The whole album just slid. You feel me? And a few months later, I'm back in the studio making another one. So I'm 3 albums in, 3 street underground albums. I'm 3 albums in.
So you selling out the trunk or the house? How you doing?
At first, I'm selling out the house, but the traffic got so heavy. I'm still living with my mama at the time.
You trapping? CDs?
Trapping. Traffic got so heavy. My mama thinking I'm, serving out the house. Like, what you doing? Got all these people knocking on my door like that. I was like, man, they want CDs.
They want CDs like that.
They want CDs. So it got so heavy. I'm like, man, I gotta, cause then I was just burning them myself, trying to press. I couldn't keep up with it. So I had to get an account with disc makers back then. They were the ones making all the CDs. So I ordered 10,000 CDs. No, I ordered 5,000 the first time. I ordered 5,000 CDs, pressed them up, started riding around through the hood. People knew my car and stuff when they see me. So I jump out, hey boy, you got them CDs? Yeah, I parked the trunk, bamming them bitches out the trunk, man. So I ran through 5,000 CDs in like 2 weeks.
Damn. Right
in my neighborhood, dog. So yeah, so like
being a hustler, like was it weird seeing then like how much money you making off your own music?
You say what now?
Like growing up being a hustler.
Oh, yeah.
The way you seeing how much money you was making off your own
music.
music.
Definitely I was. That surprised me. That definitely surprised me. I didn't expect that.
Even though we know which one, but which one made the most profit?
Which CD made the most profit?
Yeah, I'm talking about which CD made the most profit when you was
back then?
Yeah.
Or recently?
No, back. Are you still grinding hard like that?
Yeah, I think so far. The last album I put out, Introvert, is probably monetarily might have been one of my most successful. No, that was last year. I put that out last July.
I think that's your last project though.
Not my last project. Was the project before my last one. But
somebody was telling me about your last project was kind of crazy too.
That's the one they talking about. A lot of people. The last one I put out was associated with this comic book I put out. It was like a soundtrack to the comic book, so it didn't really get as much attention as my last, my real official album. So my last real official album was The Introvert, and that's been real successful.
Okay,
I can keep money in the account. But before that, I gotta say probably My Addictions, because that one, man, I probably sold 50,000 units, man, just me.
On the block?
Just hand to hand.
How much, what, $5?
Nah, 10.
$10?
I mean, if they buy it from me, it's 10, but I was wholesaling them to certain niggas for 5.
So they can have it too.
So I have, a lot of stores in the hood, flea markets and stuff, I sell them to them for 5, and they sell them for 10.
So where did you get that, that to do that from? Because, not a lot of people was, up to date.
I learned that from going to Houston, man, because that's what them niggas was doing in Houston.
So in Houston also.
They wasn't even trying to get record deals in Houston. The underground scene was so big out there. I remember there was a cat named C-Note from a group, the Botany Boys. He came to New York with us when Face was trying to get us signed. And the nigga told me, like, Trip, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't even want no record deal. I make so much money in Houston. I just came for the free trip because I ain't never been to New York. That what nigga told me. Nigga like, I ain't.
He said he never been to New York.
He said, I just never been to New York. I just came for the free trip. I ain't trying to sign with these people. He like, man, I sell 50 out my trunk. You know what I mean? So when he talking to me like this, that's what gave me the idea. Like, man, you can make money doing this. Like, cause music is dope, man. It's addictive. It's like a narcotic. You know what I mean? People get hooked on it. They can't live without it. So as long as you keep serving that good dope to them, they gonna keep coming.
Fact.
And that's how I attacked the music game just like the dope game, man.
Appreciate you, my dog. Damn it, dog. So now you doing your thing. You feel me? You got space on the team. So now let us know what's going on with the city. Like how the buzz kept going crazy. What the whole city messing with Triple J though.
So after that first attempt when Def Jam slept on me, and it wasn't really nothing going on as far as industry wise. So I started putting out my own CDs and stuff. And then that's when Def Jam South released Ludacris. You know, he was the official first Def Jam South artist. So while, you know, that's going on, I'm like, okay, that's the route they went. So let me just keep doing my street shit. I'm gonna stick to my loyal fan base. You know what I mean? So I kept putting out the street heat, and I'm like 3 albums in. Then Face called me. It's like a year later after my demo deal and everything. Face called me like, listen, bro, you know, Ludacris just went double platinum, triple platinum, however many he went. He like, you know, by me bringing him to the table, that give me the leeway to do what I want to do with this label now. So they let me bring who I want now. I ain't got to get no approval no more. Like,
so Scarface brought Ludacris to the table?
Well, Def Jam wanted Ludacris and Scarface when he got him.
Okay, that one. Oh, he made it happen. He was the plug for him. Yeah. So they fucking with Scarface heavy.
Because from what I believe, or from what I was, from what I learned, you know, Ludacris didn't tell me this himself, but from what I believe to be true, Ludacris was getting ready to sign with somebody else, but on behalf of Face being the one over that label, he came to Def Jam South because the pull that Face had. Just, you know, at that time, man, Face was the king of that shit.
Facts.
So who wouldn't want to be a part of that? You know what I mean? He did. I think he made a wise choice, and I think Def Jam made a wise choice by going that route with Ludacris, because he look at him, you know, he one of the biggest, not only rappers, he's one of the biggest black stars in the world.
That came out.
You feel what I'm saying? So that was a very good, powerful move for them to go that route. It's just, you know, I still had to do my thing, so I took it back to the streets. So like I say, you know, 3 albums later, Face hit me up. He was like, "Yo, we could do this now, man. What you still rocking with me?" I said, "Man, what they talking about? You know what I mean? Because at this time, I'm completely taking care of myself off music. I ain't got no job. I was married at the time. My wife ain't had no job. We living good based off music. You know what I mean? I'm paying my rent. You know what I mean? My rent at the time, I was living in a nice gated community. My rent like $1,500 a month. I'm paying 2 car notes. Got a third car that I don't dropped, and life all right. You know what I mean? So I ain't really in no situation. I ain't selling no dope or nothing. This is just strictly doing features, selling CDs out my trunk, and doing little shows through the local clubs or whatever. You know what I mean? So I ain't really hurting. You know what I mean? Not saying that I didn't want to elevate my career from that level, but I wasn't hurting.
Yeah.
I ain't need no record deal. So when he called me at that time, I'm like, I think first thing I said, man, they got to give me $1 million. I said some crazy, arrogant shit like that.
That's good though. You did.
Yeah, I said that. But as an unknown artist at that time, you know, these niggas getting $1 million now. But at that time, they weren't giving no unknown artist.
Even for people that was saying they stuff out the trunk.
Yeah, they weren't getting no $1 million back then.
You damn near was selling 100,000, 200,000.
They weren't giving nobody no $1 million. Not on your first rip.
Yeah, they didn't want to give it back.
Your second rip, you might get $1 million, but your first rip, you lucky if you get 500. You feel what I'm saying? So I think I said something like $1 million. He was like, "Trip, man, them people ain't finna give you no $1 million, man. Be realistic, man. Say something. Give me a number I can really take back to him." So I think I said 500. He was like, "Well, I'll see what I can do." So he called back and he said, "Man, they say 350."
Oh.
So I said, "No, shit, that's a pretty number."
What you say?
I said, "Yeah, shit."
Okay,
you know what I mean? So
solo deal or you with
solo. So I said, I'm thinking, you know, it's gonna be just easy 1-2 step. All right, let's go. He was like, "Well, you gotta go get your lawyer." He kind of like he walked me through the process, the whole legal process. He was like, "All right, at this point, me and you ain't talking about this no more. When we talk, it's gonna be on some artist shit, some homeboy shit, but we ain't talking about the business shit no more." Def Jam got lawyers. You go get you a lawyer and let y'all lawyers talk.
Scarface told you.
Yeah, he said let the lawyers talk that shit. Don't call me nothing about no numbers, no record deal, no none of that. You feel me? Get you a lawyer. So I hired a lawyer out of New York from this firm called Selvern, Mandelbaum and Mintz. They was real big in the industry back then. They did a lot of there was Murder Inc. I think Rockefeller used them a few times or whatever, but they was pretty much the big firm in the music industry at that time. And Monica Tashman was my lawyer from that firm. And so I called Monica. You know, she got on it. She put everything together. And I think it was like February, and Face gave me it was March when Face called me with from the beginning to the ending process to me finally signing. It went from like March to May. That's how many different contracts we went through. Drafts, they call them drafts. You know what I mean? So from the first draft all the way to the final draft, it took from March to May to finally get it right. And I was to the point where I was ready to just sign But my lawyer, the one thing she was real adamant about, Def Jam wanted to own all my old. They wanted my whole catalog, like all the underground stuff I had been releasing.
Oh man,
they wanted to own that.
Damn.
But I'm like, I kind of like, at the time, I'm like, shit, give it to them if they gonna, you know what I mean? Maybe we can work something out the way they. But Monica was like, no, Bumpy. They were calling me Bumpy. I was gonna give it to them. It was only 3 albums.
Mm-hmm. But she like, nah, they ain't had nothing to do with that.
That's exactly what she told me.
You feel, man?
She said, Bumpy, you can't give them that because she said when you was out there risking your life, blood, sweat, and tears, them people didn't have nothing to do with that. And she was like, on top of that, they had the opportunity to sign you first.
Okay, then.
So why would you give them that? Mm-hmm. And we fought about that for a long time. She was like, listen, normally I let my clients say what they want to do, but I got to put my foot down right here. Okay, I am not letting you sign that contract until they agree to not want your catalog, your old music. And she was firm about it, man. And you know, so she finally got it right. She called me one day. She was like, listen, I got everything. What we you know, everything comfortable number 350. They're agreeing to let you keep your old catalog.
Okay,
and, you know. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, that's what it is then.
When you
Let's
met
go.
her a little bit, or you after a while you like, let me let her do what she do.
Oh, I was frustrated through the process because at the time I hadn't got so anticipated. Mm-hmm. I already know the deal though. You know, once I saw that contract, I knew it was real. Once I saw that first draft, I'm like, okay, this is real now. So now I'm anticipating to be a part of the Def Jam team. And I felt like she was holding up the process. I'm like, man, what are you doing? You my lawyer. You work for me, man. Mm-hmm. Let's get this shit done.
Okay then.
But you know, at the end when she got her way, I was real satisfied with it, and I was appreciative of her being so firm on that.
So now break it down to us, dog. We signed Def Jam.
You know,
what's going on?
Okay, so when I signed, it took a while for the ball to get in motion. I'm thinking once I signed, okay.
Quick motion. It was not like people think it's quick. Ball.
I mean, it might be for some people. I'm just talking about all I can speak of is my situation.
Facts.
So I signed, and I'm like, okay, because I'm thinking once they give me the money, you know what I mean? Like, okay, they done paid me, so I know they want to put me to work. They got to get their money because all this is recoupable. They got to get all that money back. You feel what I'm saying? The only way they're going to get it back is through me selling records. Because back then, wasn't no 360s or nothing, so the label didn't get none of your show money. They didn't get none of your endorsement money or whatever. So the only way they made money back was through you selling records.
Okay, then.
They ain't even get none of your publishing unless you did a separate publishing deal with them. And at that time, my publishing wasn't worth nothing, so they wasn't doing no publishing. I ain't had a publishing deal on the table. So the only way they were going to get their money back out of me is by me selling records. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're going to be motivated to go ahead and put me in the studio because they've already invested in me. Not knowing that little bit of money, man, that's a drop in the bucket for a company like Universal. Because really, Def Jam was being banked by Universal. So a company like Universal Music Group, that's nothing. They at the time, they had a million other niggas like me on the same level they had and gave money to. They weren't worrying about that shit. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's finna take off. So champagne got me burping, man.
Not bad. You did. I'm on it too.
So you know, I'm sitting around waiting, basically waiting on the phone ring, waiting on them to tell me let's go to the studio. Never happened. I'm like, I'm spending money and face hacking me, telling me like, man, don't spend all that money. Don't spend all that money.
Oh,
man.
You feel like you start turning up already?
Cause you know, like ain't nothing else going on.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm like, what the fuck going on? So my lawyer is calling me. She like, listen, with a company like Def Jam, you're in a good position because they got you're in the door. All you got to do is make yourself hot. Now you need to go out there and start putting out mixtapes. And I'm like, I didn't even know what a mixtape was back then. You know, when you say back then, when you say mixtape, I'm thinking, you know, we take one song and put it with another song and make our own little cassette tape. That's what a mixtape was to me. Yeah. So I'm like, what you mean a mixtape? Mind you, this 2002. Wasn't nobody from we weren't making mixtapes. You feel me? I'm like, what you mean the mixtapes? You're like, you know, just take these other rappers' beats, the ones, you know, beats you hear on the radio, just take them and rip them. You put your own songs to them and put them in the street.
That's why you got a lot of songs on other people's beats.
But not, at the time, I wasn't doing it then. This 2002, like I told you. I'm like, okay, how can I sell other people's music? I couldn't wrap my mind around
so
that.
Like, yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, so she like, no, you don't sell it, you give it out. And when she said that, I'm like, man, this lady bumped heads a lot because she was so, you got to understand, she from New York, man, and they were so far ahead of us when it come to business. I couldn't wrap my mind around what she was saying. She was like, I say, give my music away.
You used to selling it.
I sell my fucking music. I don't give nothing away. What you talking about? She's like, no, it's like promotion. You promote. I say, I ain't got to do that. I don't do that. I make original music. I sell it, and they gonna buy it. Why would I give something away?
I already know how you think.
She was like, no, you trust me, Bumpy. You gotta do this. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. So I ain't listen to her.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm still waiting for that phone to ring for them to send me to the studio.
So you ain't dropped the mixtape. Oh, you like, nah,
I'm putting out original music. You know, I'm still going to the studio, putting out my own little, you know what I mean? Did Def Jam want to sleep? Okay. I go drop me about $10 10, 12 songs, put a little, you know what I mean, put that shit out. But I'm selling everything. I ain't doing no songs on nobody else's beats that's popular. So the ball wasn't really rolling. I went to Atlanta, you know. They sent me an A&R dude named G Wallace. So we go to Atlanta. We start working on a couple songs. Now this is Def Jam now. Finally, when Def Jam finally put me in the studio, they sent me to Atlanta.
How long they had you wait before they put you in the studio?
It seemed like a long time, man, but in reality, probably maybe a month or two.
Okay, thank God. But you probably was so eager. That's why.
Yeah, I was so eager. It just felt like forever. So when they finally got this, what I do know. Okay, I signed in May, so by November I was in Atlanta working on music.
Okay then.
So I'm up there, you know, meeting different producers or whatever, but it still ain't giving me the sound that I wanted. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't really me. You know what I mean? They had writers coming in, you know, trying to
write for you.
Yeah, trying to not my lyrics, but they was doing my hooks. They were like
hooks, yeah.
They were like, man, we got somebody, you know, and the hook, the shit was corny, man. You know what I mean? Not to belittle nobody else's craft or whatever, but to me, it wasn't my kind of music.
Your style, yeah.
It wasn't me, you know.
Were you one of them quiet artists where you telling them I ain't feeling that?
Oh no, when it comes to my craft, I'm never quiet.
You was telling them.
And you know, personally, you know, one-on-one I am, you know, I'm real reserved to myself or whatever, but when it comes to my craft, I speak up on that.
Okay then.
So I was very vocal about it. I'm like, nah, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. You know, I gave it a shot. So, you know, Face was working on his own stuff at the time. I think he was working on the Fix at that time. Might have been or something. So he was pretty much out of the picture. He hadn't just got me the record deal. So I'm working with this cat G Wallace as my A&R. And G Wallace keeps sending me to these people that, you know, I'm fine. To me, it's just corny. It wasn't me. I'm like, man, this ain't me. This ain't my vibe, dog. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit ain't work out. So I came home. I called Face. I'm like, look, man, them people they set me up with, that ain't really it. He was like, man, we know we gotta get it. You gotta, you know, just keep going, my nigga, till you find your niche, my nigga. Eventually, you know, I know you raw. You gonna send them something that they gotta fuck with.
So, what was your relationship that y'all fought with each other like that though?
I mean, it started off with the rap shit. We had that mutual respect for each other. As of course, I looked up to him because, you know, Face was one of my favorite rappers growing up. Him and Ice Cube, and you know what I mean. So to even be able to work with him, that's like right now. That's like a little kid right now being able to work with Lil Baby.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? That's what it meant to me back then. So it was just that heavy. And his mutual respect for me was him understanding where I was coming from as an artist. So through that artist relationship, and Face a real street nigga, you know what I mean? Anybody that know him or been around him, you know it ain't hard, especially back then. You know, he's older now, you know, a lot more reserved and shit, but back then he peeped the streetness in me. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. So whenever he came to town, they Trip on Hill, you know, he came to Miami all the time. Trip on Hill, we come down. He see how we is, and he's safe when he with us. You know what I mean? We bringing everything to the party. You know what I mean? So everything was, you know what I mean? So that's where the friendship came in. Like he knew, okay, basically this a nigga I can trust with my life when I'm with him. Man, he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. You feel me?
They wanted to know, Trip, did y'all end up dropping any music together?
Yeah, we did actually. We never put it out, but we did.
Why y'all ain't put it out?
We did because it was some legalities through the Def Jam shit. But we actually did a whole album, man, with me and Face and Bun.
Even though he was with Def Jam too, y'all, it was still a problem trying to put music out?
Yeah, things that he was going through with the label at the time. Like, it's a whole, you know, like, I'm going to just talk about my situation. I don't really want to talk about, you know what I mean? But, and I was getting to that. So, me and my homeboy Teddy, who I told you we had a group with together. So now I go back and get him, and I get my cousin Hay with the third. I'm like, listen, man, we got to get back in and start making some of this good street shit, man. And eventually we gonna make some shit that Def Jam ain't gonna be able to refuse. So we go to the studio, we start making shit. Jim Johnson, that's back then we called him Jimbo. That's the white dude that made Lollipop for Lil Wayne. He from Broward, matter of fact.
What you mean, like made the beat?
He made the beat, Lollipop. Okay, yeah. So he was one of the producers that I kicked it with on a regular basis back then. But this before he got big. So I called him one day. I'm like, look, man, you know, Def Jam keeps sending me to all these other producers that ain't really my sound, man. I'm trying to build my own sound. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna have to rock with me, dog. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to just, you know, pay you for every track. We just gotta get in here and just knock this shit out and send it to him, and whatever stick. You feel what I'm saying? So he was like, man, I'm with it.
Okay then.
So Jim came to my house, and we set up a little studio in my closet, man. And when, you know, I had a big walk-in closet. So my closet was the booth. He had the computer and shit set up outside. My wife came home and seen that shit going, what the hell you doing? I was like, man, we gotta make this happen, man. So shit. So yeah. So we making tracks, and so I sent one song to Face. I forgot what I think we called. They Think I'm a Star or something like that. It kind of had like a little radio appeal to it, but it was still gangsta at the same time. And when I sent that to Face, he called me like, boy, that's the one right there, boy. He said, listen, I'm finna call Bun B and see if Bun to come in and help us A&R your shit. So at the time I had never met Bun. I was like, that's an honor, you know what I mean? Scarface, my executive producer.
Were you rocking with Bun B too before at that time though?
I had never met Bun before this. Never met him. I mean, I grew up listening to his music, but I had never met him before. So he called Bun, got him on three-way, so we all on the phone. And Bun had heard the record. Bun like, yeah, I like that. And we all, it was a good vibe. So Bun like, shit, y'all come down to Miami and work with a nigga Face. What's up? So Face like, all right, we'll put it together. So we hired Bun to be my A&R. So me, Face, Bun, and my two homeboys, we go down to Miami. And this is the music that we all made together. You know what I mean? I got records with Bun, records with Face on them, you know what I mean? That was supposed to be released as my group project. But some like I say, some legalities went on with Face and the label and stuff. So that music wasn't able to be released. And I found myself in a position again where, damn, here I go again, man, with Def Jam sleeping on me. So I take some of that music that I was doing on my own, that I was sending to Def Jam, and I make another album for the streets, and that's the one I call My Addictions. So a lot of those records were supposed to be Def Jam records, and that wound up being prior to Introvert. That was my biggest album, man. And so after that, the relationship with Def Jam kind of, I made a couple more trips to New York, but one thing I can say, Face always told me what was gonna happen ahead of time. It's like that nigga had like an inside view of what was going on. And I remember we was in Miami, and the nigga called me to his room. He like, listen, man, that Def Jam shit, that's going on. That's going under, man. That Def Jam South shit finna go under. I'm like, what you mean, bro? He said, man, so he said, I'm finna leave, and when I leave, Leo Cohen gonna leave, and Kevin Lyles gonna leave. I'm like, no, I'm staying, bro. I this my job right now. If I leave, what I got going on is all really, So, sure enough, Face left because whatever he had going on with the label, and then I took a trip to New York, and Kevin Lyles was like, listen, man, this might be our last meeting because I'm getting ready to get out of this bitch.
Damn.
I'm like, damn. Just over Face, it just happened just how Face said it. I said, you leaving, bro? He said, yeah, man. I had just got shot at the time too, so when I got shot, that kind of like put everything on hold for a minute because it took me a while to hear.
Stuff or street stuff?
It wasn't even. It was some, I guess, some street shit, but it didn't really have nothing to do with me. I was kind of like in the wrong place at the wrong time, type of shit.
You think from blowing up to you was doing this music shit,
I don't think I was a target. You know what I mean? They probably knew I was there, but I wasn't a direct target. You know what I mean? So
you just read the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time type shit, right? So, but it took me a while to get back on my feet because the bullet severed my artery. So, and I ain't taking no blood transfusion, so I had to heal naturally. So,
what that mean for the people that don't know when the bullet arteries? What that mean?
The artery is a vein run from your through your thigh. It's about that thick, man. About that thick around, and it's like you got like 4 of them in your body, and they supply the blood to your heart. You know what I mean? That's like the main vessel pumping blood to your heart.
The bullet hit that.
Yeah, the bullet hit that, man. So I'm skeeting, I'm squirting. So when I get back on my feet, I ain't been to the studio. I ain't really been doing that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like a little depressed. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of depressed. You know what I mean? Just being crippled to that. It had me a little depressed. So I wasn't really in the best mind state. I had a homegirl who was real supportive at the time. She was helping me out a lot. She was like, you gotta get back on your feet. You gotta, you know what I mean? She pushed me a lot. So I called New York. I'm like, listen, man, what we gonna do, man? You know what I mean? I ain't been in the studio or nothing. Like, I just got shot. Life ain't real good right now. Goddamn it, what we gonna do, man? I'm trying to get back in this shit. So Kevin was like, man, come on up here, man. I'ma holler at you. So when he sent me 2 plane tickets. So me and my homegirl, we go up there. I sit across the table from Kevin. Kevin looked me in my eye and like, listen, man, I'm finna write you a little check real quick. But this might be the last meeting we have. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? He He was like, man, it's over, dog. I'm finna go. He said, this whole situation is getting revamped. Def Jam is rebuilding. We all leave. I'm leaving. Leo leave. No matter of fact, Leo had already left. I think Leo left, if I remember correctly. Leo left before him. He was like, Leo gone. So I'm finna go, man. You know what I mean? We don't know what it's gonna be. So he was like, man, like, how much you need right now? I see you fucked up. What you need? I write you a check for like 10 bands, man, to hold you over for a little while. I said, man, whatever you could do, man. So he wrote me a check for $10,000. And he was like, man, I know you shit dope, dog. You know what I mean? Don't give up, man, but just stay focused, man. So that was my last meeting with Kevin, man. After that, I came back home, and I was like, shit, I got to get out of this situation, man, because, Def Jam South is no more at this point.
But they was Def Jam doing so much stuff, though. How was no more doing?
Because it was focused on, Def Jam South basically became DTP, which is Ludacris' label. Because Ludacris is his partner Shaka Zulu was the vice president of Def Jam South.
So they ended up doing their own record label.
Exactly. And basically, from my understanding, they took over the whole building.
Oh man.
You feel me? So it just became DTP, which I had somebody on the inside had told me it was gonna go that way anyway. So it wasn't no more Def Jam South, and really Def Jam South never really was a real label. It was just a title that
they gave it because it was from the South.
Yeah, because all the contracts and checks and all my checks said Universal on it. Universal. They didn't say Def Jam. All my checks said Universal. So it really was.
Def Jam is run by Universal, basically.
Right. So and then my contract said Def Jam. It didn't say this nowhere on my contract did it say Def Jam South. So Def Jam South wasn't even a real company.
No, I think you're used from the South. You just claimed that.
Right, exactly. That's the division you from. So after that meeting with Kevin, man, I come home. I'm like, man, I gotta get out of this situation. So I hollered at one of my homeboys, Big Tech. He had a nice check at the time. He was like, man, let's do our own thing, dog. You know what I mean? So we started a label called, well, actually he started it. He had already started it. He had it in motion. He was like, you come in, man, we do a 50-50 with my label, dog, Big Scale Entertainment. I said, let's go. You just got to get me out my contract. So he got the lawyers and shit together and got me out my contract. And
so I got being out that contract, you wouldn't be able to drop nothing, basically?
Actually, I thought it was gonna be a lot rougher than what it was, but that's what I mean by saying these big labels. When you just a new artist or a small artist on them big labels, that little money they give you don't even mean nothing, man. So they released me with no strings attached. Okay. It just took a while for me to fight. It wasn't easy for me to get out of the contract because, like I said, Leo Cohen had left, Kevin Lyles left, so the people who was running the label I didn't even have a relationship with them. And L.A. Reid wound up coming in and being the he was the president of Def Jam at that time, and I didn't have no relationship with LA. Me and him had never met before, so he didn't know who I was. So, it come from a situation where I could actually go to New York, fly to New York, and have a meeting with Kevin Lyles or Leo Cohen. You know what I mean? And they know who I am, first name basis. You know what I mean? To now all of a sudden, the person that's running the label don't even know who I am. You feel what I'm saying? So, I just felt like it was time for me to leave. So I got out the contract, and what I did kind of regret a little bit after I got out of that contract. I think maybe a year later, it seemed like it might have been a year later, Jay-Z came in and took over.
Like a year later?
It seemed like it was a year later, man. It might be, my timeline might be off a little bit, but I know as soon as I got out of that contract, Jay-Z came in and was the new president of Def Jam. And I was like, damn, I should have just stayed just a little bit longer, man. Just toughed it out a little bit longer, man. Because I felt like I would have had a better shot with Jay-Z. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like if he would have just heard me, I could have sat down and had a call because him and Face had a relationship. Face and Jay-Z, that's his boy. I could have been like, Face, man, Jay-Z running the label now, man. Set that meeting up. I want to go sit. I'm already signed to your label, so it ain't like I'm a nigga just walking in off the street.
You got me.
Yeah, I'm already here. You know what I mean? Take advantage of what y'all got. If I'd just sat down and talked with him and let him hear my shit, it could have been a whole different scenario, man. So sometimes you just got to be patient and wait things out, man. But me being young and haughty and not really wanting to wait on shit. Man, when the whole L.A. Reid situation just scared me, man, because, from what I knew, L.A. Reid was putting out Outkast, which is good. That's my favorite group in the world. Outkast is my favorite group, hands down, but I don't make that kind of music. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just felt like he wouldn't be able to relate to what I was bringing. The same situation that I was going through already with Def Jam, and I just felt like it was going to get worse. So I got out of the situation, but like I say, man, Jay-Z came in a little bit later. Then that's when Ross got signed. That's when Jeezy got signed. You feel what I'm saying? Now he's signing the kind of niggas that's making the kind of music that I make.
Okay.
From my area of the country. You know what I mean? The Southeast region.
Was that with the guy you hooked up? Is that around the time y'all came with the Lick Read?
Exactly. Now you on the timeline. That's it.
You feel me?
That was the first song we put out. What the Lick Read. So,
you feel me? Like, can you tell us who's the guy? Is that like your homeboy? Who's the guy on the hook? Is that your partner?
The guy on the hook is Big Shife. He's actually the one that made the beat. He did a lot of well, he still do a lot of production in the industry. He big in the industry. He did the song DM with Yo Gotti. He produced that song.
In your DM.
Yeah, that's his beat.
Oh man, he doing his thing too.
Yeah, he do his thing. He work a lot with Gotti. I think, as a matter of fact, he think he in the studio right now with Gotti. Last time I talked to him, he was down there with Gotti.
So let me know what was going through your mind, you know, when y'all dropped what the Lick Read, because you say videos not important. So at that time, videos start being important.
Yeah, because everybody telling me, you got to do videos. And,
was that one of your first ones, or you been doing them?
I think what Lick Read might have been my first video, man.
Break it down to us.
I think my first videos. Back then, videos cost so much money.
How much you think that one cost?
I know how much it cost. We paid $10,000 for that video.
$10,000.
Yeah, because we got the dude came in with the crane. It was done on. See, back then.
No drones. It was.
No drones. You had to have that you know how they sit on the crane, and, you know what I mean. And we shot it with film. See, back then digital was just coming onto the scene, but digital was real cheap, and it looked like cheap quality. So if you wanted that good quality, you had to go film. That movie look was film, and that film cost. So yeah, we paid.
Who shot the video?
Dude named Paula Mill out of Orlando, man.
And y'all did that independently?
Yeah, we did that independently.
So what made you go 10 bands? Like what was there no 2 bands?
Well, 10 bands wasn't done for the nigga I was with at the time.
Okay then.
Like,
but how y'all went looking for like who's gonna shoot this video? You already know you have to look for films. Like was that stuff you already learned from being in the game?
No, I think at the time the dude who was managing me, Mr. Pup, my dog Pup, he I think he had a relationship with the dude who directed it. Some kind of way, I was really out of the loop. All I know, they called me and say, "Man, it's time to shoot this video." You feel me? So I showed up and we did a thing. But I do remember them going through the negotiation process of how much it was gonna cost. Because when it was time to spend money, I had to be aware of that because that was money that I had to put back. So everything that was spent, I did know when it was being spent. That's how I know how much the video costed. But yeah, man, 10 bands for that video. Cause we did 2 in 1. We did What the Lick Read, then we did Boy Shorts, all in the same. But
so that 10 band for everything, or the 10 band for What the Lick Read?
No, for both of them.
Okay, so y'all.
But we shot them on the same day.
So let us know how the day was of that day. Give it to us.
Oh man, it was January. I think it was January 1st or 2nd. Man, I know it was the beginning of the year. Cause my birthday was a couple days after that. And I remember I was sleeping in good. You know, Pup called my phone like, "Wake up, boy! Video shoot day." I'm like, "Damn, already?" Cause I forgot we had scheduled it that day. I ain't bought no outfit, I ain't got no clothes or nothing. He like, "Yo, man, go out." I said, "Damn, I ain't when it got fresh or nothing." He said, "Man, you don't need to get fresh, nigga. Go get a t-shirt. Put on one of your Triple J t-shirts. Then go buy you some Dickies or something." So I went to the corner store, bought me some Dickies, put on my t-shirt, and showed up. And we shot that bit, man. Brought the whole city out. The whole city. When I say the whole city, the whole city came out. The police came and they had to block the road for us, man.
And I wanted to ask you a question, Triple J. What are the artists out 5? Are you the first one out, the 5-6 one to break out? Because that style, you guys, other artists, that sound a little bit like y'all don't want to say no names, but people when I hear, I'm like, damn, I hear Woo and Triple, but they telling me, you the first
that broke out.
Yeah, you feel me?
Probably from my era doing that style of rap, I would say maybe so.
Like the Lick Read style of rap. I'm talking about like
right. I wasn't the first rapper from Palm Beach though, cause we got Cooley C. That was I will crown him as being the first rapper from Palm Beach.
Was he on that same trap style?
He didn't do. He made Party Music. He was signed with Luke. So
I'm talking about the trap talker. When it's a couple artists. When I hear you, I'm like, damn, they sound familiar. Maybe they're just that sound of Florida at that time. Maybe
I probably was the first one to come out with that because you had Splat Pack. I know you know who they was. You know they were doing Party Music or whatever. They had a couple of gangster tracks on their records, but they were more so known for making party records. And Cooley C, R.I.P., Kid Money, R.I.P. You know, they was making a lot of party music. But when it came to that street music, you know what I mean? I don't just say trap. It was really street reality music. You know what I mean? Because I was talking about more than selling dope.
Okay then.
But yeah, I think I might have been the first one to get big locally.
And how the hood reacted to you know, y'all bringing out the cars. I see y'all had donks, everything in that video.
Man, it was love. That was a lovely day, man. Real lovely day, and everything went good, peaceful. Nobody got hurt, no incidents. We didn't even have a police permit, dog. There wasn't no incidents. No, you know, of course, the police showed up because of the crowd control. They had to show up. But
how much people was out there? And what did y'all shoot that video at?
We shot it right on MLK Boulevard, man. It was, I think it was called 8th. It was named 8th Street a couple years before that. So people from the area, they know it as 8th Street. But they had just renamed it to MLK Boulevard. So we shot it right there, man, on the corner of MLK Boulevard and what's now Barack Obama Highway, right on that intersection where MLK and Barack Obama meet. Probably the only city in America where MLK and Barack Obama meet.
Okay, then they wanted to know, what about your song? What it is? You Know Ain't Me featuring Boosie. Was that around the same time?
Nah, that way later.
Way later?
Yeah, that way later. I wasn't even on big scale no more when I did.
Okay, we ain't trying to skip, so let us know how much we end up dropping.
I think I did 2 mixtapes with now this is the time when I'm on the mixtape game. You know, I came in late. So now the South doing mixtapes now. See, at first wasn't nobody but New York niggas doing mixtapes. So now the South doing mixtapes like DJ Drama and all, you know what I mean? So now I'm in that game, so I'm taking other people's beats, you know what I mean, dropping my own, making my own versions to their songs or whatever. So that's what kept me hot in the streets. Now I understand what Monica was saying that whole time. You feel me? So I'm doing that. That's keeping my name ringing until we get this album out. The whole time we working on this album at the same time. So I finished that one album with Big Scale. It was called MLK Boulevard, and you know it was just a one album thing. You know, we once that whole business relationship severed, I took a little break from the music game. I think I stopped for about a year just to get myself right mentally. You know what I mean? I wasn't really in a good place. So when I came back, that's when I did a track with Lil Boosie. You Know It's Me. And how that was a crazy story how that came about too, because I think he was in town to do a show or something. And Pup, when it peaked, I think Pup was the one promoting it. You know, I wasn't there when the whole initial contact was made, so I don't know. But from what I was told, I guess Pup picked him up and they were playing my music in the car, and Boosie was like, "Man, who's this?" And Pup like, "Oh yeah, that's my nigga Triple J, man." And Boosie was like, "Man, I gotta do one with that nigga, man." So he brought Boosie to the studio. You know, we knocked that shit out, man. He wrote his verse right in the studio.
So you had to pay for that.
And we paid him. You know, we gave him 5 bands. You know
that's still a look at.
Yeah, you know, we showed homeboy love. You know, real nigga love back then.
Then.
You know what I mean? I know it won't be 5 bands now. he was Lil Boosie back then. He Boosie badass now.
I feel that shit.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So we knocked that shit out, man. He came in and rocked out with us, man, and you know I opened up for him a few times after that. So cool nigga, man, cool nigga, real nigga though, real nigga. Like a lot of these industry niggas just be, you know what I mean, they different when you meet them. Boosie wasn't like that, man. Boosie was always the same nigga. Every time I ran into him, man, just a real nigga, solid cat, man.
Okay then, and they wanted to know about that 16 years old.
Yeah, that was
mind you was at when you dropped that thing.
That was actually Jim Johnson, the same dude I told you produced Lollipop. That was his record. That's going back. That's way before.
Way before.
That was actually when I was with Def Jam, when I had first signed with Def Jam. That was when I told you I called Jim. I was like, man, we got to do these records, man, because Def Jam keep slipping. You know what I mean? Sleeping on me, sending me to these other producers, man. I want to get with my people. So one of the first records Jim played for me was that 16 years old track, and I hated that song, dog. When he played, I'm like, man, I can't rap on this, dog. You talking about a grown ass man? Talking about he met a 16-year-old girl. He was like, no, man, you just be creative with the story. So
he already got the topic and all for you?
Yeah, it was his song. The song, all I had to do was put verses on it.
Okay, it
was a shell. It's what they call a shell. You know what I mean? The shell was already done. The beat was done. The hook was done. That's him singing on the hook.
Yeah. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
So I'm like, I ain't know how to come on that. Like that wasn't really my style of rap. You know what I mean?
You ate that thing up like you.
But listen, so he tell me, dude, I really gotta credit him with the concept of the song, because sometimes, you know, as creative as I am, I might not be able to even bite into the surface of that bitch if somebody don't give me a direction. You feel what I'm saying? And he gave me the direction. He was like, look, man, tell my story. I'm like, what you mean tell your story? He's like, look, I was DJing in the club, because he used to be a DJ. I met this girl, and you know, I met her. She at the bar. She buying drinks. You know what I mean? I started talking to her, whatever. He said, I go to this girl's house. I'm having dinner with her family and everything. He said, I don't find out this girl's 16 years old until I'm at her house with her parents, and they tell me, you know what I mean? And her parents was like cool with it.
Oh man.
So just rocking like that. Like, you don't know she's 16 when you meet her. Just, you know what I mean? You meet her in the club. You assuming she grown because she drinking. And one thing lead to another, and you just tell your story from there. So I'm like, okay, I might be able to put a little twist with that and make it, you know what I mean, make it entertaining. You know what I mean? So most of the stories I write are, you know, creative, but they come from a realistic place. So even if it might not necessarily be my story, but it's a story that I know about or I'm familiar with, you know what I mean? So that was one of them things.
And they want to know too, you know, they nosy right now. Your relationship with Duval, how y'all end up doing that? You had him in the video and all.
Again, I can't even remember how me and Duval met, but I know at one point we was pretty cool with each other, like, you know, on a pretty at least, you know, talking on the phone basis like that, back and forth. But we did that song way before we shot the video. Like, I think I wrote that song. I actually wrote the song. I wrote the whole song. So he called me one day and he was like, man, I got an idea for a song I want to do. I want to do a song about a nigga being a snitch, but I want to be the snitch, and you be the nigga that I told on. So I'm laughing. Like, every time you talk to this nigga, you gonna laugh. There's no way you gonna talk to the little Duval. If I ever talk to him and he don't make me laugh, I know something really wrong with my dog. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole time he talking to me, I'm laughing. I'm thinking he bullshit. He said, "No, I'm serious, dog. I'm for real. That boy had to be a big ass record." I said, "Okay, well, let's do it. You want to record it at?" We like, "Shit, come to the A." So me and Pup, we go to Atlanta. This when he was signed with T.I. at the time. So we go to T.I. studio, and I just started, you know, they play the beat. I just started writing to it a little bit, and I go in the booth. I kind of like freestyled a little bit of, you know, it wasn't really a lot of thought put into the writing process of it because the story was already laid, so I ain't really have to, all I had to do was make the shit rhyme.
Okay then. So
I went and I laid it out, and I ghosted his part for him. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna put my little twist on it, and I'm gonna send it back to you. You tell me what you think." Man, when that nigga sent me that song back after he filled it in with his little part, cause he changed some of my words a little bit, made it into his own little character. And I called a nigga back and said, "Dog, you got your well with this, boy. You got your well with this, dog." So I don't know what happened. What took the process of making the video so long? I don't know if it was something, you know, going something legally with the label, whatever. So, but it was like
how long it took before the video got made?
Like I said, I recorded that song in 2009. He called me in, I think, 2011 to do the video. I had forgot about the song. He called me because he couldn't even get in touch with me. I had to change my numbers. I had to move to Atlanta. And I think he tracked me down to this girl that I used to know. And she called me. She was like, "Duval looking for you." I'm like, "Duval who?" She's a little Duval. I said, "Duval know how to find me." I'm thinking she bullshit. I said, "Duval know how to find me. We know the same people, you know." So I'm telling you, he said he looking for you, and you know, I think he gave me the number to give you. I think she the one gave me. I can't really remember, but anyway, I called him. I'm like, "What's up, bro? This trip, man." They say you looking for me. He's like, "Oh man, I've been trying to find you, my nigga. I want to do this video."
Okay then.
I was like, "What's up? Well, let's get it done." So at that point, it was like right on it. He came up to the A. Matter of fact, he might have been even living there, but I was living there, so it was easy for us to do it. Slid over. He had this little location he had rented out with the little prop house, had the fake jailhouse scene and all that shit, and we just shot that bitch, man.
Fact. So now let's know. You feel me? We start working on something. You feel me? And I and mine. What's going on with that there?
Was that which one?
That
Me and Mine.
Yeah, raw.
Oh yeah, Me and Mine. Yeah, that's
that thing too raw.
I had actually finished the Introvert album, man. I was getting ready to put it out, and then that George Floyd situation happened, man. And I ain't gonna lie, man. For anybody to not be affected by that in some type of way, you had to be a heartless individual. You know what I mean? To sit there and watch that, man. That shit, it fucked with me, and you know, it kind of made me angry. Not so much at just seeing that, but at the reaction to, you know, the way people was handling the situation, man. Like, come on, man. This ain't gonna get us nowhere. You feel me? Cause, you know, at the time, ain't nobody really know where the country was headed at. You know, it was a crazy place at that time. So my mind was on like, look, man. All I'm thinking about is Me and Mine right now. I ain't don't know all that other stuff y'all talking about. We got guns over here. You know what I mean? I got you know, my homeboys with the, you know, my what I consider family, my family members, my homeboys. We had all the meetings. We talked like, listen, man, go down. This is where we gonna be at. We coming here. We this, that. You know, we got our families on beat. You know, And this is what it is. So that song was real.
Okay, then.
That song was real, man. It was about, this ain't about no skin color, no none of that. I'm talking about me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what color he is. If you ain't supposed to be over here, get your ass from Ryan.
Right. And they want to know, what about thinking out loud?
Thinking out loud, yeah, that was real personal for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically what it was, self-explanatory. I was just thinking out loud, man. A lot of shit that I wanted to express that probably never been expressed. Cause
some of that bars you say for like some of these artists, you know, that's doing their thing, but it wasn't for you.
Yeah, that's real though. That's real. That's real. I mean, they know. That's real. Even if it was just for the fact of me opening the door in my city like that. Mm-hmm. Like I gave my city a nickname, Riviera. You know, my brother invented that name. He created that name. I made it popular. You know what I mean? So it's a whole city being called Riviera because of me putting out a tape saying Riviera on it.
Okay then.
And nobody know nothing about no Raw back then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So when they saying from the Raw.
From the Raw, they talking about.
Oh man.
Yeah, they talking about Riviera Beach.
Yeah, I know that. I ain't know what you saying. That y'all.
The Raw, yeah, the Raw. That's us. The Raw, Riviera.
Yeah, that's gangster, right?
Yeah, we did that. Me and Lil Bro.
Mm-hmm. And what about My Stepson? Was that a real song?
It was loosely based on like I said, loosely based on real situations. You know what I mean? I got a lot of young homies that look up to me like that. You know what I mean? I might see them going in the wrong direction. Cause we had that growing up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like these young kids now, they don't have that. You ain't got the OGs pulling you to the side like, nah, don't do that, my nigga. Nigga might just break out, give you a couple dollars, so you ain't gotta do that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I don't see these niggas doing that no more. So, that was a song I just took it upon myself to, to reach out to the young cats, man, and kind of educate them a little bit. Like, okay, you want to step, you want to do that, you do it the right way, and then, but when you do it, you gotta remember step 10, boy.
Facts.
When them people come,
mm-hmm.
and that's what gonna tell the difference. Cause a lot of these niggas do all that stepping, but when step 10 come,
mm-hmm.
they fold. So how you gonna wear that step 10?
That's true, right there.
And that's really what the whole basis of that song is.
And you already know, we done had you cuffed up in here so long, and let us know about that new thing too, though.
Yeah, my new one, man, is Obituary, Triple J Obituary, dropped Thanksgiving Day, and this
how much
like I say, this gonna be my final project, man.
That's your final project?
Yeah, it's Triple J. I might come back under the name Fresh.
You about to switch?
I might come back as Fresh though. Right now, I ain't even thinking that far yet.
So straight retiring right now, then?
I ain't gonna even say the word retire, man. This is it. This is it. I ain't got nothing else to say. My catalog is complete.
Oh yeah.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? I can talk more if I want to, talk more shit, but I don't really have to. I done said everything that need to be said. You know what I mean? And I let it all out on this album. Like I got real personal. Like this album is definitely the most personal album I ever put out. Like every song on it is very, very personal to me. I revealed a lot of things about myself that only few people who are personally connected to me know about, like my family and close friends. Mm-hmm. Some real intimate things about me that they only know about that I revealed on this album. You know what I mean? A lot of things I did in my life that I never talked about, I'm talking about on this album. Just it's real personal to me, man. So I feel like at this point, I done let it all out, man. I feel real good about it. It was real therapeutic going in there. So that's symbolically why I named it Obituary. You know what I mean? It ain't that I'm wishing death on myself or nothing like that, but it's like this is my life's work right here. This is it. This is the story I want to be told when I'm gone, and somebody get up and start saying he was this, he was that. Nah, ain't nobody got to do none of that, because I gave it to you myself. You feel what I'm saying? And this is how I want my story to be told.
And they want to know how much tracks on there too, my dog. 15. Any features on there?
Yeah, I got not no big names or nothing. Just people who I fuck with as artists, who talent I respect. So you can put a lot of big names on your record, but like I done records with people who music I didn't even listen to, just because their name was popping at the time. So I'll never do that again. You know what I mean? I don't care how hot you is, or if I don't vibe with you as an artist, I'm not doing a record with you.
Okay, then.
So I handpick people who probably never even been heard of before to do some songs with. I'm the only one rapping, but I got a few other vocalists on there. You know what I mean? Shane, my homeboy Shane, he doing his thing. You know what I mean? Big up Shane too, man. He one of the most talented, slept on singers that I ever had the pleasure of working with. You know what I mean? And I know one day he gonna get his break. just keep doing that shit, bro. 'Cause I know you gonna get your break, dog. And you know.
And they want to know what's your relationship with like some of the artists in the city, the younger, like the Van Dams, the One Hots. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah, them all little bros, man. I personally got my own personal relationship with each one of them individually.
What other artists? Name some of the artists you know from the city. You done deal with.
Pretty much every artist from the city who is known, I pretty much work with. Like from Van Dam to Tweezy, Fifth Street, Free Breon, by the way. Psycho, Big Shife. I mean, I can't name everybody, but.
So were you around for the DVDs or you was out of town doing your thing?
The Gangsters and Thugs?
Yeah.
I'm on one of them.
So were you around for that? Were you down here? Were you busy? Like
no, I was here. I was doing my thing, but I was Raylo caught me. He caught me for a couple of shots on one of them.
Did it feel like it helped a career out, or you really do it? What you found?
It was something to do. You know, I ain't gonna say it really helped my career, but it didn't hurt it. You know what I mean? It was something to keep you relevant at the time in the streets. But it was my little scene, and it was so small. It was like, you know what I mean? It didn't really. Okay. It wasn't really impactful on my behalf, but.
Triple, they want to know did you any work with Rick Ross?
Nah. I met him maybe 2 or 3 times. We never really worked together though. Worked with Pitbull.
You worked with Pitbull.
Yeah, Pitbull did a song called "Stay Out My Phone."
How that came about?
I can't. The beginning of these relationships, I can't really remember, man. But I know he showed love on that track, man. He showed a lot of love, like. And this one, Pitbull was like already there. You know what I mean? And he ain't even. He showed love on that track, bro. You feel what I'm saying? We didn't even have to come out the pocket like that or nothing, dog. Okay, then. So, we sent him the record. He liked it, and he jumped on that bitch, dog. And that was one of my biggest records, radio-wise. Okay, then. And Triple, let me know one more time. What's coming out Thanksgiving? Obituary, man. Obituary coming out, man. Say a few shout-outs, man. Shout out to the crib, man. City of Riviera. Shout out to the whole Palm Beach County. The whole state of Florida. We got this our time, man. It ain't next. We got right now. You feel me? Broward County. Miami, Miami been doing their thing, but right now Palm Beach, Broward got something to say, man. Okay, then. And it's taking off, man. Everybody who love Triple J, fuck with Triple J. I love y'all too, man. Like I say, the list too long to name, man. All the artists that I inspired. It's an honor to wear that crown. To know that I inspired y'all. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. But I want y'all to know y'all inspire me too, man. When I listen to y'all and I know that this is an artist that I inspire, and I hear that coming back, that inspire me. You feel me? So don't think it just go one way, man. I go for all y'all, man. And like I say, man, I love y'all. Keep doing y'all thing, my nigga, and you know what it is, man. I see y'all there.
Y'all know what it is, man.
For sure.
Triple J, Tippie, we had to bring the legend through. What you mean, 561 shit? Till next time. Please, Z. Okay then, Tippie.
Yes, sir.